Round 2, we won the die roll, and we have a pretty bad hand. This could use a Ramaging Goblin to do something. Considering that our deck doesn't use more than 5 lands ever, almost like at least the remaining 12 lands out of our 33 cards, so every third card is just going to do nothing at all unless we draw Ramaging Goblin, makes any 5 land hand pretty bad anyway. But then we also have a Disentomb that doesn't do much except for returning our 4 mana 2/2. So I don't like it, but I'm going to mulligan into a 0 land hand, so that's another mulligan. And that hand isn't great, but I'm going to keep it. Now we basically just have to see what our deck gives us. We should have no trouble in controlling the early game with the help of Giant Scorpion, but of course we're going to need some help after that. A 4th land would certainly help in casting Sign in Blood or Disentombing and recasting Giant Scorpion. And the question is, what happens if he has a haste creature here? He doesn't. So we aren't going to Disentomb, and if we don't draw a Swamp, we're also not going to cast one of our spells. But we did. So murdering a random 3/3 doesn't seem relevant. We can just take 3 damage and block his cursor and then maybe murder his next drop. So getting the Sign in Blood out there as soon as possible is a good idea. Arson is not doing much, but I need to get on the battlefield. That's pretty good. Another haste creature makes his attack a lot more relevant there. So just going to take 6, I guess. The Arsonist doesn't really have a good use here. Mark of the Vampire is interesting, but we really don't have the right card for it. It might mean that we have to put it on the Scorpion, but I don't see this working out. I could murder the cursor to buy myself more time, to then drop the Scorpion and get back some life. The alternative is to drop the Scorpion, but then I'm basically forced to block the cursor. I can't take another 6 and go down to 6, I believe. So murdering the cursor is really bad if he has another boar. Then I'm basically dead. But against anything else, it's actually quite okay. So I think I'm going to do that. Going to keep the Arsonist back against Reckless Brood. Like I said, I don't like to do it, but it might be the best shot I have here, depending on the power of his creature, of his next creature. Oh, that's quite powerful, so probably a good idea to just trade it with the Giant Scorpion. And basically, once again, alternatively, we take the damage here and suit up the Scorpion, but well, we won't ever be able to attack with it. So we could just sit there with a 3/5 Death Touch lifelink and hope that it's enough to stabilize. That's the only alternative I see. It might be our best shot, though. Given that we don't have anything else right now, I think I'm just going to try to put Mark of the Vampire on Giant Scorpion. And I'm also going to keep the Arsonist around for anything else. That might be a mistake if he burns us out, though. But if he has any burn spells, he's also going to respond to Mark of the Vampire by killing Giant Scorpion. So I kind of have to hope that he doesn't have burn spells and that he doesn't have too many large creatures. So I think it's fine to keep the Arsonist around. Okay, that worked. Now I can attack to gain 3, but he would be able to attack back with both of his creatures, and then I take 3 damage again. So it would be only if I chump block with the Arsonist. So I don't think that attacking here is correct, as I would lose to a lot of cards anyway. If he has the Volcanic Geyser here, I'm dead. If he has a solution to Giant Scorpion, I'm also dead. But we are doing quite fine for a mulligan to 5 on the play. And we have seen what Chronometon can do, so... Whoa. That looks like a dangerous card. And that looks like a card we can't really use, so... Yeah. I could attack with the Scorpion, but now he also has this. No, I'm just going to hope that he doesn't have a red spell. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. We can still block here and here, killing the flunkies by pumping the Chronometon. It isn't great, but we can't really take any more damage, so... The problem, of course, being that if he draws or has more red spells, then we are in trouble. I'm waiting on the Disentomb here, because it might be necessary to Disentomb Bloodhunter Bat, but maybe that was too greedy, and I should have Disentomb Chronometon already. I didn't think I was dead with this Flintoff Boar, but he has a third Mock Flunkies as well. So I can block Sentinel Spider and then I'm dead, so yeah. I don't think that having like the Chronometon in play would have changed that, because chumping with all my creatures wouldn't have accomplished anything. So that's fine. Playing against the creature deck, he just has 3/3s. 3/3s only, basically. And the Battle Jester did a very good job for him, because it made the defensive mark pretty bad. I like the 4 toughness creatures against him. I actually like the whole deck against him. Disentomb, of course, somewhat situational, but that shouldn't be a problem, or shouldn't be a large problem at least. He just had too much stuff. Volcanic Strength would be nice on a 2 toughness creature, because then it survives his 3/3s, but I actually don't have that many 2 toughness creatures anyway. So this is a special case because it regenerates, and then I only have the 2 Blood Hunter bats, and I'm playing the marks already. So we could put Volcanic Strength on 3 toughness creatures as well. Of course, it's great on the Nighthawk. The problem is that I'm afraid I won't ever get to the point where I'm able of going on the offensive. However, putting a Volcanic Strength on some of my creatures, even if it's only a Ravenous Rats, might just stem the bleeding enough to get going. Of course, later on I'm going to need better cards to deal with his cards. The problem is I haven't seen any 1 toughness guys from him. So all he has shown me was 3/3s the whole game, just beating me down. So I don't know how much use I can make of a Volcanic Strength. Let's try to just cut a Disentomb for 1, even though that means less Nighthawks and Scorpions and so on. But the alternative would be to get... yeah, I think Ravenous Rats are also pretty bad against him. He has just so many 3/3s and his curve is really low. So let's try it like that. And this hand is fine. Actually very, very low curve. But we do have some expensive cards in our deck. I have the Rummaging Goblin, but I'm still going to drop all my early stuff because I like the impact they're going to have. And Rummaging Goblin is going to be good enough discarding lands. And I think Ravenous Rats do a good job here. Ah, we got rid of a Battle Jester, so that's a good thing. I might have to trade with Bond Beetle so that he can't attack with his flunkies, but he didn't drop a mountain, so... I'm just going to get in there. I would take the trade. Even though it's a goblin, I want to keep his creature count as low as possible. So let's start discarding some cards. I don't see this working out as an offensive hand, so it doesn't matter if the Scorpion is in play this turn or the next. It does make a difference if he has the Flinthoof Boar, but I'm pretty sure he drew the mountain, and he could have dropped Flinthoof Boar last turn, so don't think there was a reason to be afraid of the boar. Now, if he suits up the cursor with Volcanic Strength, we are basically dead. We do want a 4th land in play, and we do want Giant Scorpion in play, so I'm just going to run him out and see what happens. He doesn't have to have Volcanic Strength, and the more cards we have on the board, the better we can play around something like Volcanic Strength. Hopefully we are going to be able to grind him out. He doesn't have anything, that's interesting. Second red. is quite important for our deck. He could have a Yeva, that would be absolutely brutal. We could get back a Giant Scorpion, just in case. And it's going to be able to trade with both Yeva and Sentinel Spider. So I kind of like that. Okay, no Yevas. Maybe a Spider. Nothing. Magma Quake, maybe? Magma Quake waiting for another mountain. Volcanic Strength. I don't know what he could have here, so I'm just going to let him show me. I think the most likely now is that he Magma Quakes, but it's also possible that he had a weird hand where he couldn't cast anything. Or that, I guess. But that's fine. I mean, at this point in the game, a 3/3 for 3 is not what I'm really worried about. I'm still hesitant to play the mountain, but I kind of know that I want to keep it anyway, so I might also just play it. It's possible that he has another Flinthoof board. Plummet? No. Plummet against black-red, that's kind of spicy. I mean, I do have Bloodhunter Bats and the Vampire Nighthawk, and it's possible that he watched the replay. Okay. That's interesting. Maybe he has a... No, he wants to block. Okay. Still don't quite get this, but I guess it's fine. And now the question is, how do we proceed? We could put Volcanic Strength on Ravenous Rats, but a 3/3 against his 14 life doesn't seem very exciting. I also could try to enchant the Giant Scorpion, but that's kind of my most important card anyway. And if he has a removal spell for it, and I try to put Volcanic Strength on it, then I don't have anything left, so... that could be the Magma Quake. I was expecting something along the line of Magma Quake, so... it's unfortunate that now I will have to use my Searing Spear. But... don't think I can do anything about that. It's a good deal to trade Searing Spear for his 4/4, so... that would have been even better. This looks like a card that's going to give us some trouble. We could Torch Fiend. Make it a 4/3. Still not able to block, but to attack. Yeah, I kind of like that. I don't really see myself playing this defensively. It's not great, but maybe it's all I can do. I just have to hope that he doesn't have much else. I also could have dropped the land here, because I do have a Cyan Blood in my deck. Yeah, that's actually fine. If he attacks with the Spider and the Boar, I might just trade Spider and Torch Fiend. Then I take 3, and I have some more cards to trade with the Boar than with the Spider. I can't really take 7 reasonably anyway, so... Okay, I don't know where all these 3/3s come from. Oh yeah, that's great. That would have been a very good card to have, but the way I played it, I don't have it, so that's going to be a problem. Now, if he just draws blanks, I can take 2 more hits, and if he draws a 1 toughness creature, I can Fury it. So not all is lost. But things are looking bad. I don't think this would have won the race on the Torch Fiend, but didn't calculate it. Okay, that seems kind of greedy, but I don't have anything, so... He got it. We didn't play Nicol Bolas, maybe that was the problem. Yeah, I feel like this deck was certainly fine. Nothing spectacular. We didn't have a good matchup against his deck of, I don't know, 17 3/3s and the Magma Quake. Could have played differently if had we known. He also had like Plummet. Yeah, I guess if you play a Magma Quake, you might want to have one just in case. And yeah, he played this quite well. Certainly something we could have won, but didn't necessarily have to. That's it. I think that was the last M13 draft. I'm excited for Return to Ravnica and really interested in what we can figure out in the new format. As always, I'm Simon Godson. You're watching Simon Says at mtgoacademy.com. I'll be back. See you then.